Really? This has been interesting. Oh, there's a lot going on here. Apparently there's been a lot of... someone wetted my artwork there. Someone figured this guy's pretty true.
Hey, and you guys have been doing it all day. Look at them. So weird. And we actually don't give a shit.
Oh, have you seen what Lisa's doing? Let's see what Lisa's doing. Why lie? Why does it matter? The shape of the earth. Are you mad as a hatter? Do you know your own worth? Why is it important, the place that we live? Life's biggest question, how did we come to be? It's not worth a mention. Well, flock me. Now, if it don't matter the shape of the planet, then neither do we, and neither does the mechanics, nor does the environment, and the way it all ticks. Then we should all remain silent and leave it down to those gits. Because they're doing a great job. Sure, they got things in order. Yeah, right, with their paint job. CGI to fool ya.
Trying to fool you.
Try and fool ya. So they should show us a painting and they call us blue marble, and we're meant to sit there in awe and just marvel. So why does it matter that 19 odd billion has been handed to NASA by a slave mason civilian? Why does it matter if land's being hidden? If parts of our terror are sections off and forbidden? Why would it matter if there were other countries and each of our nations have been bred with incompetence? I like it.
I'm not happy about it, you know, I'll do my part, but it's weirdly controlling. Among other things. That's good.
What? Hey guys.
Oh, hello, another one.
So,
Another one?
I'm trying to figure out...
Well, yeah, I mean, like, you know, you're one of the squad here.
We're all equal here, do you know that?
Oh, yeah, but I mean, like, they don't believe I am.
Oh no, we're all equal. We come from the same creator, the same source. But this world is designed...
we've got a religion one. Okay.
Oh, no religion, brother. The religion is for those people who believe they can live on a spinning ball and that monkeys can turn into men. That's insanity. That is absolute insanity.
Great. Dinosaurs, right.
Yeah.
Explain that. What's the problem with dinosaurs?
How was the first dinosaur imagined? What was the evidence for the first dinosaur?
What the fuck do you mean, the evidence for the first dinosaur?
That's a hard question for you?
No.
You shouldn't breathe through that mask. It really affects your brain capacity, I swear to you.
My brain is so thin, it's weakening. My crinkles, they're smoothing. So, what do you mean?
So you
There's
don't know
no
the answer to the
evidence
question?
for the dinosaur theory of
no.
mankind.
I'll ask you a question, which is that...
Why am I being asked a question? I asked you to explain what this is doing on the board.
Well, this is all made up pseudoscience. There's no evidence that supports the whole story. There are bits of evidence that point towards something like giant animals. I'll give you that, but like I was asking you, and you don't know the question.
If you go to a cafe, right? Yeah. You go to a cafe and you go to the counter and say like, "Hi, could I get a cup of coffee?" And you sit down.
Yeah.
And then they come out and bring you a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Where did the cup of coffee come from? Did they manifest it through sheer capitalism, or did they presumably make it?
Yeah, they made it.
Okay, great. Now, if you ask your, partner or your friend, you bring them a bag of tea and you say, "Hey, can you make me a cup of tea?" Mm-hmm. And they take it, and they may bring you back a cup of tea. Yeah. Where do you think they got the tea from?
Tea leaves and the water.
Great.
Yeah.
From the cup bag that you bought them. Is that an unreasonable assumption?
Yeah, that's pretty clever. Yeah, I can get that.
So, things can happen. There are things that can happen between events that you cannot see, but you can't assume happens reasonably.
Have you ever made a cup of tea?
Yes, I've made many. I have a massive fucking bag of tea.
Okay, so you know how the tea is being made. So if I said I'm going to go and make you a cup of tea, you'd know what I was going to do because you've done it yourself. Have you ever found a dinosaur?
Yes.
Yourself?
Yes.
You found a dinosaur. No,
Yes.
I don't mean in the toy shop of your mind. I mean in reality.
Yes.
Where was this dinosaur?
Down Swansea?
In a museum.
No, I went through a time machine.
You went to a time machine.
Yeah.
And what did you find?
I found a large velociraptor.
You found a large. What do you mean? You found one of these? Which is it? Which you should be able to point them out immediately to me. Which one is the velociraptor?
I'm pretty sure you could point it out too with a bit of looking. If you're presenting, you should probably be able to.
No. I don't need to know your religion word for word. It's
No,
same as
you're-
Christianity. I don't
You're
need to know it word
presenting.
for word. or
You're
Islam.
presenting, so
I
you
know
should
that
be
it's-
able to show.
What a
It's the-
velociraptor is.
No.
Well, my friend, I don't study Disney. Disney is for children. And velociraptors are made by Disney. You know, you don't know the answer to this, and you should because it's part of your belief system. But the first dinosaur was imagined from a tooth. They found a tooth. This is part of the history. You
Like
can
that's the
find-
problem. You're assuming that the first piece of evidence is the only piece of evidence that exists. Now, if someone was to bring you if someone found a teapot, but it was filled with coffee.
Yeah, I know what teapots are for. But if I found a tooth,
No, but
and
if
then
you
I
never,
imagine a
if you
whole
didn't
animal-
know, if you didn't know what it was for, and then someone later brought you a teapot filled with tea, would you say that no, it's a coffee pot?
I had a tooth.
No.
I had a tooth. You want to say the
No,
teapot
all I'm
only
saying
needs
is-
tea and it needs tea and a pot. Two things. A velociraptor needs skin. It needs a whole working body, not one tooth. Come on, my friend, you don't even know this. But one tooth, and then they made a drawing of a whole dinosaur.
Can I intervene? This gentleman has been here for 2 hours, busy
2 hours, have we?
talking about this to everybody else, and he doesn't want to. He
doesn't want to move on.
So I really think you need to.
Yeah, much more
I think you need to put
valuable.
boundaries up and say.
Well, I mean,
All I'm
to be
saying
honest,
is
the
there are
guy
bits
who
of
needs-
evidence.
The guy can't
Dave,
think for himself
he's
and
distracted
breathes through a mask. Doesn't isn't a
honestly,
master.
There is bits of evidence, and
It's
you can
time out.
make the assumptions if you learn how things work. Boil water somewhere else, and then the things will come together somewhere else. That's all you need to remember.
Your fear of germs, by the way, is really shows how weak your mind is. There is no germs that can harm you. You can't harm me. I could hug 1,000 people.
I've actually
now.
punched germs.
You punched germs.
Yeah,
Right, so you're having
I
like
personally
this whole- you've got this
shrunk
whole-
down and punched them
Yeah.
to pieces.
You got this
It's
whole
great
thing.
fun.
You got this whole thing going on. You guys are a long way from home, but you'll find it out hopefully.
I am actually quite far from home.
I mean, from spiritually. I mean,
18th
spiritually.
century, actually.
Spiritually.
That's what they do in Speaker's Corner. It's trying to take your attention so
Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
speak to the public.
Yeah.
And now they're trying to hide the board, but
Oh, this
it's
guy's
a good
back as
advert.
well.
Yeah, he's been there all day. They'll stay there all day. You're on double time.
Yeah. Earth is flat. We don't live on a spinning ball. You've been lied to by NASA and by your government. There's no space agency. The only outer space exists in your mind and in Disneyland. CGI. Water is level. The sea is level. You can't float. Rocks don't float. The moon is not a rock. You can't land on the moon. You can't land on the moon. And you can't live underneath a ball. Earth is flat. The earth is not a ball. Earth is not a globe, my friends. Earth is flat. We've been lied to.
And we are.
We can't prove curving water. And we can't prove which direction we're moving, or
Stop
even that
filming
we're
it.
moving.
Correct.
Point to the direction we're moving, I'll be impressed. The world is water, and water is level. Water will always find its own level, and all the lakes on the mountain are parallel to every other lake, including the lake called the ocean. Yeah, the world is round, maybe like a plate. See, do you call a football round? Yeah, he's kicking the round around, isn't he? Plays football with a ball, thinks he has to play on a ball pitch. Ball is round, pitch is flat. Work it out, friends. You've been dumbed down and minimized, reduced and held back. Earth is flat, not a spinning ball. You are not an evolved ape. You are the center of creation. You are the reason for this world. You are meant to be the queen, the king, the corona. You are meant to be top of the power, not the government, not some corporation. Corporations are dead. Why are the corporations telling the living what to do? Why are the corporations telling the living what to do? In 2020, corporations told the living what to do. The living no longer think for themselves. The living are no longer responsible for themselves because corporations like Tesco's and your government are telling you what to do. You have given up self-mastery when a dead organization, a corporation like the Bank of England and Barclays Bank can own your ass. The living are owned by the dead. And the only reason why is because the living give the dead breath. They give it life. They work for the dead. Corpse oration. The dead speaking. The corpse oration is going to fine you because you stayed in your parking too long. The corpse oration is going to penalize you because you haven't paid all of their taxes. The dead are controlling the living and the living are consenting. The living are covering up their breath. God gave us the breath of life and the corporation said, no, 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 2020, cover it up just for a few weeks, a few months, or now a few years. The corporation owns your ass and you can take it back. You can return to sovereignty and self-mastery by deciding, I'm not going to contract with this dead organization anymore. I'm not going to work for the living dead. Earth is not spinning. You are not some evolved monkey on a ball. You are the center of creation. The sun and the moon are your lights. This is your universe. Let no man nor corporation steal your breath and steal your light, the light given to you by God or your Creator. Have a nice day, and I'm sorry for interrupting your drink.